Let's talk about Egypt travel, but this time let's focus on Dahab. If you have been thinking of visiting, this guide will tell you everything you need to know: how to get there, where to stay, the best things to do, and the 6 key things you need to know before you go. I recently spent a few days in Dahab, and it was one of the most relaxing and budget-friendly places I have ever visited. From world-class diving spots to desert adventures, this small town has so much to offer. Whether you're a solo traveler, a backpacker, or just looking for a peaceful getaway, you're going to love it here. Where is Dahab and why should you visit? Dahab is a small laid-back beach town on the Sinai Peninsula in Egypt. Unlike the busy resorts area in Sharm el-Sheikh, Dahab is chill, budget-friendly, and perfect for adventure lovers. People visit Dahab for world-class diving, kite surfing, the famous blue hole in the Red Sea, desert adventures, and then the stunning canyons. But beyond all of that, Dahab has this unique, relaxed atmosphere that makes you want to stay back way longer than you plan. Now, let's dive into the top 6 things to know before you visit Dahab, shall we? Number 1, money. Of course, the currency used here is the Egyptian pound, and at the time of this video, 50 Egyptian pounds equals $1. However, if you are doing touristy activities, you'll find that many places accept USD, British pounds, and even euros. Some places even allow card payments. But, and this is important, I strongly recommend paying in Egyptian pounds instead of foreign currencies. You might want to ask me why. And this is because many vendors will round up the price in their favor. For example, if something costs 20 USD in Egyptian pounds equivalent and you hand them 20 British pounds, they'll take it, even though 20 British pounds is worth more than 20 US dollars in conversion. So, always pay in local currencies to avoid overpaying. Number 2, is Dahab safe? Absolutely. Dahab is one of the safest places in Egypt. And I say this as someone who visited alone for my first ever solo trip and as a black woman. I was a bit anxious about what I was getting into, but I didn't regret going solo for a second. I was walking around at almost midnight and everywhere felt calm, safe, and well lit. I saw people cycling in groups, taking peaceful strolls, and just enjoying the night. No catcalling, no aggressive street vendors, no stress. Number 3, getting around in Dahab. Dahab is super walkable. You can easily stroll everywhere or rent a bike to get around. No need for taxis unless you're heading to further places like the Blue Hole or the canyons. Number 4, communication. Most locals in Dahab speak English, or say most people that would attend to you when you're patronizing them. But they might not understand everything you say, especially if you speak too fast or with slang. And that was why I used Google Translate, and it was a lifesaver. I'll just type in English, translate it to Arabic, and show it to them. It made things so much easier. Number 5, internet in Dahab. If you're wondering how to stay connected, here is the deal. Most hotels and restaurants offer free Wi-Fi. You just have to ask for password. And if you need constant internet, get an Egyptian SIM card or an eSIM before arriving in Dahab. Then the 6th one, which is water. Drinking water precisely. I bought bottled water throughout my stay, but I noticed restaurants refill large water dispensers. I didn't stay long enough to ask if it was filtered or tap water. So if you are staying for an extended period, make sure to ask before drinking their water. And if you are staying for a short period of time, you can still ask or just go straight up and buy the bottled water. There are 2 main ways to get to Dahab: by flying or by road. So let's talk about flying to Dahab first. There is no direct flight from Cairo to Dahab, but here is what you can do. Fly from Cairo to Sharm el-Sheikh, which is the closest airport. Then take a taxi from Sharm to Dahab. It's about 1.5 hour drive. And if your flight arrives late at night, I highly recommend booking a hotel in Sharm and heading to Dahab the next morning. Then the second way to get to Dahab is by road. If you're on a budget like I was, take an overnight bus from Cairo to Dahab. It takes about 8 hours and you save money on accommodation and wake up in Dahab ready to explore. You can also use Bookaway to compare bus options, as there are different levels of comfort depending on your budget and how much you're willing to spend. Where to stay in Dahab? Dahab has everything from budget hostels to luxury beachfront resorts. I stayed at Al Flaila Boutique Hotel, a Moroccan Riyadh-style hotel, which has a very cozy vibe. Prices start from $50 per night, and if you love chic Caribbean architecture, you'd love this place. The best areas to stay in Dahab are the Lighthouse area, which is central and it is walkable and it is perfect for diving and snorkeling. If you want to go diving or if you want to go snorkeling, this is the best area for you to stay. You can also stay at the Lagoon area, which is quieter and it is best for those that want to go kite surfing. Another thing to know is that many hotels offer diving packages that include accommodation and diving lessons. So sweet, right? Now let's talk about the best things to do in Dahab. Number one for me is snorkeling and diving at the Blue Hole, which is one of the famous dive sites in the world. You can book through a professional tour guide or tour operators to get the best experience. Number two is camel and ATV rides to the Abu Ghalum. And this is the best way to experience the desert scenery. That also gives you the vibe of the mountain to the right or to your left, and then also the Red Sea to your right or to your left, depending on where you are facing whenever you are doing this ride. Another thing is shop for essential oils at the new Ramses Dahab Mall. They have amazing scents with great benefits. Just make sure you ask for what each of these oil does and what you can use them for. Then there is also the Jeep Safari to the Colored Canyon with the stunning rock formations and the dune bashing. I mean, this Jeep Safari is giving dune bashing as if you are in some desert and you experience dune bashing. I mean, it is what it is. It is also a desert and it is also dune bashing, but maybe not like called dune bashing. And then you can also pair this with the Mount Sinai hikes. Another thing you should do is sunset at any of the beachfront restaurants and cafes. For me, I ate at Everyday Cafe and Restaurants, which is super budget friendly, and my meal, which was pasta and chicken, cost just $6 and it tasted so good, and it was overlooking the beach and I could watch the sunsets. The best time to visit and what to pack. Best time to visit Dahab is from September to May, which is usually cooler and perfect for outdoor activities. For me, I visited in January, and coming from Nigeria, which is a very warm country, I found it extremely cold. So you might want to ask me what you should pack. For the warm weather, you need to pack light clothing and sunscreen, and the warm weather would be anytime from May until August. And if you are going to pack for the cold weather, you need to, it depends on where you are coming from again. If you are coming from a place that is as warm as Nigeria, you might need to pack winter outfits. And if you're coming from a country that is extremely cold, I mean, it might not be a lot for you. And then for snorkeling, what to pack for snorkeling is your swimwear and a reef safe sunscreen. You might also want to pack your snorkeling gears if you have them, but if you don't, you can rent them in Dahab. And then for your desert adventures, just wear something comfortable and a comfortable shoe, of course. Should you go around with your cash and cards? Yes, you know cash is king and some places don't accept cards, so it is always good to have cash as well. So now let's talk about the budget breakdown. Let's talk money because let's be real, without a budget, a trip is definitely not happening. So for budget travelers, you can plan to spend between $30 to $50 per day. This covers your meal, transportation, activities. However, this excludes accommodation. But it depends on how much of a budget traveler you are. You can also get hostels around $10 per night. So this might be doable for you. And if you're a mid-range traveler or luxury traveler, budget $80 plus per day for your own comfort. And if you found this guide helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more travel tips. Share with someone heading to Egypt soon and tell them to go to Dahab. And if you're ever visiting Dahab, drop a comment. I would love to hear your plans.